How's it going? My name is Jesse. I'm one of the co-founders here at Pebble. I've also got my other co-founder here.
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin, the other half of Pebble.
Awesome. Well, today and in this program here, we're going to go through the LPG workflow using Pebble. So we've got several sections here we're going to go through here, and we're going to walk you through what it's going to be like. But we're going to start off at the very top and give you an overview of the things that we'll go through and what the process looks like. So let's start here at the very beginning. First of all, Pebble is a platform that is an all-in-one solution to really help you streamline your land investing business and really allow you to actually grow and build a what I call a real sustainable business. That's what Kevin and I are dedicated to building with this platform here at Pebble. Now, you came out of the LPG program. And typically, how it works, I just want to go through the workflow of that. You will pull a list. You are going to send out some letters, typically what we call neutral letters or letter of intent. After that, you're going to receive those leads in, and then you're going to start sending out offers. You're going to negotiate and then close, and then ultimately offload those properties. And so I think I wanted to establish that as the common workflow and the methodology that you learn inside of the LPG program. Now, typically, you're also taught to use Investment Dominator. Now, it's a great software for those of you sort of getting started. It allows you to pull your list. Although one of the things that we find it is very linear in its path, and it's really just built to run off the specific LPG method. But in reality, we're finding that this no longer really works because you now have a very competitive space in this sort of world of real estate investing. And so now we're starting looking at different tools, different strategies, and experimenting and optimizing. And this is one of the beautiful things of being a business owner. You're going to learn the foundations of LPG and then be able to now grow. We can't sort of approach this business from a set business model and we're just going to follow it. The landscape of land continues to change, and then we just feel like there isn't a lot of wiggle room to actually optimize. So Pebble will do that for you. And again, Pebble is a platform to really help you streamline the way you run your land investing. It comes down to really centralizing your property records. That's the big thing about Pebble. If you look at the entire deal cycle here, we're buying land, we're doing something with it, maybe we're subdividing, we're going through entitlement, and then we're going to offload that property. Everything gets tracked for that property. Things like your marketing and how many times have you marketed to that property. We'll talk about more about tracking and whatnot a little bit later. Communication as well, handling your phone calls, your text messages, your voicemails, your call answering services, your cold calling, all that getting centralized against the property record. Documents, being able to customize documents, generate whatever kind of a document you want. Um, Adding property data to the property records. In fact, I'm going to go through the anatomy of a property record in this module here just in a couple seconds. You're going to see what that looks like. Your contacts attached to it. Maybe it's the seller, the wife, the kids, the real estate agents, the title agent. All those contacts would be attached to the property record as well. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into sharing my screen here, Kevin, and let's just sort of walk everybody through the workflow of Pebble at a very high level. So this diagram sort of simplifies how Pebble handles things. So I'm just going to zoom in here to the left. Now, you see these little paper airplanes here? This is you getting out your marketing. Okay, it may be mailers, but a lot of us are looking at cold calling. Some of us are looking at ringless voicemail. Some of us are looking at mass texting. Doesn't matter. We're getting some form of what we call outbound marketing because we're sending it out to property owners here. Okay. So you're able to accomplish that inside of Pebble. And that's essentially what you're doing in the LPG method, but it's typically just with letters and typically just the or a couple standardized letters that you guys have.
Mhm.
Those leads, those property owners are going to reach back out to you. They're going to maybe on your letter, you told them to send you I don't know, an email, go to your website or email you or text you or call you or fill out a website form, whatever it is. That's all going to come into you. Those are now what we call leads because now they're interested in working with you. And Pebble will capture all of that in one centralized place. We actually call it our inbox here. So that's why I have this little mailbox diagram here. And so what you're doing after that, I'm going to zoom out, zoom into this portion here. What we're doing after that, it's like you're going to your mailbox at the front yard, you're pulling all of them in, and then you're putting down all the mail onto a table and just sorting out, what is an actual lead and what isn't. You might be getting junk mail, you might be getting people saying, "Hey, don't ever mail me again, don't ever contact me again." Well, great, we're just going to remove those. But those that are expressing some sort of an interest, we move over into what we call our deal board. And our deal board visually allows you to track all your leads and what we call deals. They're your deal opportunities. Okay. And so they're made up of these different columns, which we call stages. And we'll go through this in the later modules on your deal boards. And here you're going to be able to track the progress as you sort of maybe acquire the property. You also have a deal board once you've acquired it, maybe for subdividing because you are getting into higher dollar value properties and you want to subdivide. Great, you can project manage inside of Pebble. And then you may be done that and then you're going to move that deal board or deal into or you're getting deals leads for people who want to buy your property. You'll have a deal board just for tracking that. Now, for the sake of this course here, we're going to be specifically talking a lot about the acquisition side because a lot of us may be working with real estate agents. We might be doing with different things when we sort of offload the property. That part is quite simple. It's the acquisitions that we really want to focus on in this course here. So again, we're going from marketing to owners here. Then they're going to communicate with you. That gets all caught in one centralized place. You're not going to check your email and your phone and call rail and all these different sort of phone apps. They're all just going to get centralized in one place. You can text them back and call them back from within Pebble, and then you're going to manage them through your deal boards, which allow you to create what I call repeatable processes. Okay, so that at a very high level is Pebble. Now, one thing that I want to show you before we jump into the other modules is the anatomy of a property record, because that's really the base of what Pebble is. You're bringing in property records when you're doing marketing. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, cool. We're inside of our Pebble account. I am going to jump right into the property records here. This is the property page here inside of Pebble. And so on this page, I can see all the property records I've ever brought in here. You can see on this account, I have 764 property records. I can search by the property name, by the APN. I can run filters and whatnot. So it really becomes, this is my database of all the property records. Now, I want to show you what a property record looks like inside of Pebble because, again, it is the basis of the data inside of Pebble. So I'm going to pull up a property record here. On the left here, I can see a timeline of mailings that I've gotten out. Okay, I can track that. We're seeing that we're needing to mail multiple times across the year. We can track for all of that. On the right here, we've got a map functionality. I can literally see my property record here. I can actually go into the map view here, look at the satellite. I can even look at property data of neighboring properties. That's all here with my property record. Where I want to spend some time looking at, here's an area where we can have attachments. Pebble serves as a cloud drive as well. So for all your media files, for your documents, they can live there as well. But scrolling down here to the bottom, these are what we call our property fields. Now, these property fields are basically text fields that you would have brought in information when you brought in your list into Pebble, wherever you get your data from. We'll talk a little bit about that afterwards. Or you are going to fill these fields out when you're doing your due diligence on these properties. Now, the information here is what we call our single source of truth for this property record. This means you don't have information living on Excel, some of it living with your phone system, some of it living in your email, some of it living on a follow-up system, and some of it living on your CRM. No, this is where it lives. This is where it lives. And so when we can centralize one place, we can start thinking about automations. We can start generating any kind of a document because we can pull out of this. Your team knows where to record information. They have very, very clear understanding of where everything lives. And this becomes really powerful when we talk about creating repeatable processes and scaling a business. This is what it's all about, building a real business, keeping things organized inside of this property page here.
Another thing to note is that the property record is really what will follow across all of your acquisition and disposition process. So, as you're getting that property acquired and now you take possession of it, now you're going to be selling that property on to a buyer. That property record, that what we're looking at here, is the same record throughout that whole process. So you're not having to like recreate it when you get to the disposition side. That property record is what attaches across all of those different deals.
Exactly. And again, the big thing I want to emphasize here are these property fields. You can customize these, you can reorder them. They're really going to be the data points for your property records inside of Pebble. All right, so that really concludes this module here of an overview and an introduction of this entire course and what Pebble is and some of the moving parts inside of Pebble. Let's head over to the next module where we're going to talk about mailing and marketing.